Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. I am Ken Ochonogo. A lot of activities going on all over the world. Tennis World Cup, football, regional tournaments. You can't take it away, from what is going on, because for the first time or for the third time in 5 years, an unseeded player, went home with the French Open title. And, today, it will be a meeting of the Titans. Yes, one of those who is already assured to be in the Hall of Fame, Tennis Hall of Fame. Nobody takes that away from him. With 18 big one in his kitty and going for the 19th one. Djokovic is the world number one, still riding high, the best player in the world. But he takes on, Tsitsipas, who also says, this is my time. Like, in the build-up to this French Open, he's one of those built to take it. So while the female side, all the seats, fell through before they got to the major areas, for the male side, it is the world number one versus the world number 5. But then it was an epic. It was an epic when Djokovic took on Nadal. The man has never lost in his previous 13 attempts. When he gets to the semi-final, you mean the final and the trophy, was assured. But then Djokovic said, yes, 2 men have beaten you before. I was one of them. I did it before and I could do it again. And he repeated it and he sent the king out. Remember also that the Prince of Clay, Dominic Thiem, went out even in the very first round. So this year it looks like an open, but then how open it is when Novak Djokovic is still there hunting for title number 19. This time not at SW19, but yes, he's doing it at Roland Garros. Tsitsipas, the god from Greece, says, "Is it my time to join the greats? Pick one and let's see what goes on." We shall look at how that will pan out. But then let us just go straight and tell you also, go to the Americas, that in the NBA, the conference semifinals are taking place, and then some are riding high. Phoenix Suns, you can't take that away from them. Brooklyn Nets are also doing well. We shall look at who will meet who in their respective finals and see the two teams that will lock horns together at the NBA Finals 2021. But then when you go back to Europe, no, before we go back to Europe, we still stay in South America, because the Copa America starts today. And I tell you, 2 hosts were built to take it. It was supposed to be Argentina and Colombia. Colombia had crisis in there, and it says that when they have crisis, this thing cannot go on. And I said, okay, fine. Can Argentina shoulder it? But they look at the COVID-19 crisis in Argentina. They look at the casualty rate and said, no, this will be taking too much of a risk. And then it went to Brazil. But even in Brazil, the Brazilians, the opposition, and also some other members took the Brazilian FA to court and said, no, we don't want this to take place in Brazil. We don't want the risks. Take it back to wherever. We do not want it. But then the Supreme Court decided, barely 48 hours to the tournament, that the tournament will take place, and then the Copa America will start to the right there in the Samba nation of South America. But then we return back to Europe. We return back to Europe because in Europe, it was supposed to be joy. It was supposed to be the kick-off of Copa, Euro 2020 in 2021, but that is not what happened. When the Belgians, started with 3-0, we said it was okay. But they went to the Danes, playing in Copenhagen at home. It happened, and it happened. I tell you, the world stood still. Are we seeing what we've never seen before? Are we seeing a repeat of a man, who was hale and hearty, lined up with his team, but with 3 minutes into the end of the first half, he collapsed. But then there was a response team. They responded. The officials, the medical team, the players, the world stood as one, and they revived Eriksen Christian. And I tell you, as we speak, he is in stable condition, and that is where we want to start the show. Yemi's in the house with me, but I won't go to Yemi yet. I won't go to Yemi yet. He is there with me, but we want to go straight. We want to go straight to Enugu, because we have Dr. Tunde Akimbinu. He is there with his team. He's always on duty. He's there with his sunshine. I don't know if the sun is shining in Enugu, because right there at it's going to be something else. But Dr. T, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ken, and good afternoon, Nigeria. It's great to meet with you again and have this conversation. I guess the sun is going to shine a little bit today.
you guess the sun is going to shine in Enugu. All right. But before we of course, briefly, and you also tell us about the condition of the Sunshine Stars. Can we, before we go to the main topic, how conditioned are Sunshine Stars before they face Enugu Rangers today?
Well, our players are in top condition. We have very little fitness to use as it is. So we're going to put forward a very good team to make a very good challenge for the game. Of course, with very few games to the end of the season as it is, and on the log, we're trying to do the very best we can to ensure that we remain in the league this season. You know, we're going to give it our very best. You know.
Okay, all right. But then I know I normally wake you up as very odd hours. But then to you, anytime I wake you up, you are just like the Boy Scout. You are always ready. It's happened like it had happened before. We saw Margaret Venfo. That one went. We saw practice. Fabrice Mwamba. He survived. But even in our own climb, the most famous one that we don't want to remember was that of Okwaraji. Fit players, past feet going to the pitch and then collapsing in the pitch. What is your understanding of what happened yesterday? And between that hour and now, maybe there would have been some information which you want to share with us.
Well, the information that I have, and which is quite in public space too, as yesterday evening, the team doctor for the Danish national team spoke to say that the patient lost consciousness, as we all saw, and by the time the medics himself and his therapists were called in, there was pulse and respiration, and the crowd doctor, there's always a crowd doctor at every game, also joined to assist. And of course, he's in stable condition and in the hospital right now. Now, apparently, the doctor at Tottenham Hotspur, where Eriksen played for, until 2019, has come out to say he's checked all the medical records for that player before he left for Inter Milan, and they were fine. They had not missed any cardiac investigation that were done yearly. And he's suggested that there may be some challenge with COVID-19 and the pandemic, that they may have been a subclinical condition. However, the doctor at Inter Milan has come out to say that that did not occur. Christensen never had COVID-19, and interestingly, was also never vaccinated. However, not before COVID-19 and all, this could happen to players. Players could have sudden cardiac arrest. It's happened with a number of players, who are declared, and then these things just happen. There are all manners of cardiac conditions that could really just happen without symptoms, and could be really fatal. Christensen is fine right now. He's got immediate medical attention. He had, and it's a very good one for football. The worry, the concern is that we must ensure that we have such medical facilities available, in Nigeria, and all around Africa, at all tiers of football in Nigeria, whether it's the male or female league or the MPFL or the NNL or the NLU. These things are very, very important, because it will happen with the biggest of finance of players here.
Okay, Dr. T, what is, we keep on hearing CPR. What is CPR?
CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. That is the sequence of events that must take place immediately there is such a non-traumatic loss of consciousness during anywhere. It's particularly important in sports because when this happens, it's cardiopulmonary. You are trying, it happens, a person loses consciousness in very many cases in non-traumatic situation, when the heart's electrical system suddenly malfunctions, and then in that case, it used to be the ABC of CPR before, airway breathing and circulation or compression, but now it's been modified by the American Heart Association to be compression and circulation before checking the airway or breathing. So you do a number of compressions, a minimum of 100 to 120 really per minute, at about 2 inches deep, and heel on the sternum to ensure that you get blood moving out of the heart into the systemic circulation, and of course venous blood coming in. Because the most important thing when a person loses consciousness anyway is that the brain has shut down temporarily, and you want to prevent it from shutting down permanently. So you want to ensure that you are pumping, you are artificially helping the person to pump blood around the body, and while you are also breaking it from time to time to give in air you know, that's where you give mouth-to-mouth respiration or you use the ambu bag as maybe necessary. So that's about CPR. In Ericsson's case, he did have CPR, and he did come out of it. The CPR has got the C, A, B, and the D. The D is the defibrillator, but it appears that Ericsson didn't even need a defibrillator yesterday. But we've got to ensure that, you know, bringing it home, we have facilities for this around our league venues, our match venues, you know, in Nigeria, and this is particularly important. It's interesting that we're playing Enugu today. One of the last instances where CPR was done for a player in the Nigerian Professional Football League was really in Enugu. You know, this is in a game between FC Rangers and Adamawa United. Sunshine Stars is playing Enugu today, and of course, I'm sure that we'll have very good support. You know.
Okay, Yemi is also here with me, and maybe he wants to put in a question for you. Yemi, what do you have for him?
So, Doc, the captain of Denmark yesterday, Simon, was the closest player to Ericsson when that incident actually happened, and he bent down and cleared his airways. You have spoken about CPR. How important is the timeliness of this in resuscitating players? Because they always tell us, 5 seconds is very important.
Yes, you know, like I mentioned earlier on, it's important that you have people who know what to do and are available to do it as soon as the condition happens. Around in the developed world, there are a lot of people who have this knowledge of basic life support and for all age groups, you know, where you can instantly conduct cardiopulmonary resuscitation activities on people who lose consciousness at any time. A lot of players in the developed world know how to do it. A lot of people are trained. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, that is not so common. I know that in the wake of what happened, I saw a number of messages around the world saying that if this had happened in Nigeria, not more, but I can tell you that there are dozens, if not hundreds, of trained Nigerian doctors and nurses and other healthcare workers who have knowledge of this. Players do know what to do in Europe. I'm not sure we've got so many players who have knowledge of CPR in Nigeria, but I think it's a very positive thing that we saw yesterday. What the captain must have done must have been to try help clearing the airway, you know, so that sometimes you've got your tongue rolling back and occluding the airway and all that. There are medical interventions that could be made to ensure that the airways are cleared right on the pitch, you know, but we're really still far away from all of that level of advances in sports and exercise medicine in Nigeria, you know, but we're really going to continue to work very hard at it. There must be structures in place by the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. I know there's a sports center at the MK Abiola Stadium in Abuja, but that's the only one I know of. There must be structures in place by the Nigerian Football Federation to be domesticated by all state FAs. You know, of course, I sit in the NFF Medical Committee. Of course, I'm in the Ondo State Football Association Executive Board and all that. So when I say this, there are things that I must do. There are things that we all must do. You know, but we're still very, very far away. There are very few sports associations in Nigeria. Very few people interested in all of these activities, of course, because of the terrain. And of course, but we're going to work very hard. That's what I'm doing. And I encourage the system and the society to really help us to get a lot more people to help with this.
Okay, still on what you talk about the response, the rate at which people respond, how fast they responded. We said maybe for 1 minute 48 seconds, you know, somehow, you know, he would have gone. And you've just said players in Europe understand this, you know, apart from players, because apart from playing, you know, at the big stadium, whatever football play in that sport at all levels. So how difficult it is, or how easy can I say it is for people to learn how to administer CPR, non-medical personnel. We see a player. He said, Yemi just said, the captain himself was the one who first of all did that to him, because the time at which he responds is the response time is very, very key in this. And another thing also is the facilities you need from the stadium and also to the nearest hospital. Is it important that we can have hospital close or clinic close to major stadium in case something happens, so that after the first aid you take them there?
Well, that should be a part of the stadium building process. When I was at the African World Nations, these things were put in place. There were exit strategy, there was a dedicated medical exit, there was a stadium clinic and all that. There's been the conversation that we have this in the Accra Stadium. Of course, in the Accra Stadium, we have a small infirmary that is not exactly functional. This may happen also in very many other places, in Nigeria. The point is that what we have to do, what we know from Europe, what we learn, the studies we do in sports and exercise medicine, where we are in Nigeria, it's like the very dark place. We're working in a rudimentary system where we learn and study about where things are really working. So it's really challenging. To talk about this will be regurgitating the same challenges. That is really, really frustrating. There should be, in every league game in Nigeria, at whatever level, there should be 2 team doctors for each team. There should be a crowd doctor. At the game yesterday, the crowd doctor assisted the team doctor of the Danish national team. You could hold your breath for 2 minutes. So for the average person, 1 minute, 1 minute 48 seconds, like you said, because the thing about losing consciousness is that you don't have enough perfusion, that is blood and oxygen to the brain. So the very person you want to ensure, that's about the breathing, is that you ensure that there is oxygen back and there's blood moving around. These are things that people should know. It's about education of not first, we must educate the technical bending, not just the medical doctor and the nurse and all that. The players should also know what to do in the stopgap measure before sometimes the paramedics and the medical team comes in. But look, when we talk about this in Nigeria, yeah, it's the work I do and all that, but we're really, really far away from where we should be.
Okay, I can see that you're. I don't envy your position, Tunde, but I really don't, because one, you're talking about your club that you have an infirmary and you are not sure if these things are in the condition it's supposed to be, which means that is what you are supposed to put in. You are also part of the NFF medical team. These are also the things that you guys are saying, okay, fine. How me as myself, these are the things we want to do. How difficult it is in terms of, I don't know how. Is it for these guys? You say we are in the dark. When you compare where Europe is and where we are now, there is more. There is I don't. Is it a valley? Is it a gulf? Is it a sea between us? But how can we bridge this gap? You are part of the team now. You are part of the Sunshine team. You are see what when you go back. You are in Enugu. That you and your colleague in Enugu can do that. But most importantly, I want to ask you. We have our first line of action when things happen in Nigeria is giving pure water. But that you're pouring pure water, giving pure water, and that is the thing. I know I've really left the pure water stage, and also yeah, today apart from and I will left that stage, and also yesterday apart from the physio. Do we need a cardiologist also, as part of the team? Because we saw yesterday how they have to call in, from them to join them. Apart from the physio in the medical team, do we need a specialized cardiologist? Because of these things that are happening, do we need that?
We may not need a cardiologist on the bench, in the medical team. Sports and exercise it's a vast field that takes in a lot of people. You may not need a specialist cardiologist right there. Basic life support, advanced cardiac life support, and all of that are basic things that the medical team, the medical doctor, who is expected to be a sports physician, can handle. There are stadium paramedics, a nurse, an emergency nurse, and all that can handle. It's a stopgap measure. You handle it and stabilize the patient in the pitch and through plans to the stadium and all that. So there are all manners of things that can be done, But do we have this in Nigeria? Do we have it in the Premier League? Do we have it in the NNL? Do we have this at trainings of every game? Sunshine Stars has a good one, yes. But Sunshine is just 1 out of 20 teams in the league. Do we have it for every team? The NFF should have a structure in place. Yes, I'm in the medical committee. I agree. We should have, a structure in place where we can look at all clubs and say, beyond writing the letters and saying that we have a doctor, we have and all of that, can we see them? Can we monitor? Can we evaluate? That these things, yes, and these are the gaps that exist, and it's really, really challenging.
Okay, Yemi also want to ask you another question.
So, Doc, this is two-pronged. I know you can not totally separate or diverge the level of the Nigerian medical health system away from what happens with the clubs. What is the barest minimum that your association insists that every club should have? we've seen a case in a match venue where they wanted to rush a player using the ambulance, and the ambulance didn't start. And the ambulance didn't start. And like Ken said, if the word said yesterday, Eriksen fell at the right location, in the right place,
at the right time,
and at the right time, and that's why we are not mourning as it is now. So, what is the barest minimum your association is pushing?
Well, sometimes even if
all right, go
your very best, like you do your very best, you still lose an athlete, you know.
Okay.
But you must, the basic minimum, you know, there is something called the FIFA medical passport. Look, I am team doctor for 2 teams in Nigeria, 2 teams in the male and female league. I'm not seeing the medical passport for any player. Apparently, these things are passed across the NFF.
Okay, I hope doctor is still there. Okay, all right. We want to. Okay, I think you are there. Hello. He said something.
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, because you said something very
medical
important. Medical passport. Can you expand to let us round up with this medical passport? What is the medical passport?
The medical passport is a series of pre-season tests and evaluation that is done for every player at the beginning of every season. So you look at the cardiac workup, you look at the muscles, you look at the bones, you look at the function of various organs to see that this player is fit to play. Now, these things are not given real attention in Nigeria. Many clubs fill in medical passport without anybody evaluating it from the club. Is this true? Is this player fit to play or not? Nobody is going around to check at the various clubs in Nigeria, for example, to say, okay, do you indeed have a doctor? Do you indeed have a physiotherapist? You know, is he available at trainings? Is he available at games? You know, a lot of things just pass through. Anybody can fill in anything in the medical passport and send to the LMC or the NFF or something. Nobody's evaluating that. So there are no checks and balances. Sports medicine in Nigeria is pretty rudimentary, but they are hardworking people. You know, I can say of Rangers, you know, they in the game between Rangers and Adamawa, there was really resuscitation. Of course, if anything happens in Akure, we have myself, we have a crowd, you know. But these are places where there are good systems. However, we're looking at 10 league venues in Nigeria. We're looking at 20 really. We're looking at that's in the male top league. How about in the female league? How about in the NNL? How about in NNO? Because these are human players, these are human lives that should be protected at all times, you know. So until we get these things done, you know, it can be, but we're working very hard, I mean, and we just hope that society gets this and the structures can be put in place and continue to grind. You know.
See? Okay. We are going, well, because we want a very short break. Doctor, don't leave. When we come back, we'll just give 1 or 2 questions as a follow-up on these so that we can continue the discussion. You stay with us. Okay, you're welcome back. It is the Channel Sport on Sunday. We still have Dr. Tunde Akinbinu right there in Enugu. We have 2 questions for you, one from me and one from Yemi, and we'll round this up. My question is how easy it is for you to teach we laymen how to apply CPR. He also has his own question. He will give it to you so that we can round up the discussion.
Okay, Doc, to round it up, there are insinuations out there that if it's actually a cardiac arrest, Christian Eriksen is unlikely to play football again. What's your take on this?
Well, to start with the last question, I think that it will depend on the evaluation that are done. You know, until he left Tottenham Hotspur, he was fine. He had no challenge. Now we'll look at these are things between. At the moment, it's the Danish FA, the medical doctor, the medical team of the Denmark, and of course, it's going to be assisted remotely. You know, collaborating with the Inter Milan medical team, we're going to be looking at records and all that. By the time all of that is done and if fresh evaluations are done, it will then be decided or will be known if he will still be able to continue to play football. That's something we cannot assert at the moment. Evaluations in the period will tell us if he can continue football or not. How easy is it to teach regular people on the street about things about cardiopulmonary resuscitation and all? It's very, very difficult. You are more or less asking me how difficult is my job as a team doctor. You know, people who have not had doctor, you know, when I say doctor, don't you have patients in the hospital? What are you doing here? You know, and having to junket between being a sports administration and public education are 2 different places. very difficult job, but nothing good comes easy. And that's that. Nigeria has less than 25 sports physicians, really. That's how few we are in the country, and doctors keep living every day. So very difficult, but look, if we don't help our country, who will help us? So we've got to grind, we've got to work very hard, train here and abroad, and then see how far we go.
Anyway, I don't want to believe that you want to dampen my hope before you leave today. Tuti, you said that we have only 25 sportsmen professionals in the whole of this country. Now 25. Okay, no problem. And then you say it's difficult to teach me. Don't worry, I will hold you to task for that. I wish your team best of luck as you take on Enugu Rangers today. Thank you very much for enlightening us in this particular incident. Thank you, Tunde. That is Dr. Tunde Akinbinu. He is this sports, he's the head of the sport medical team with Sunshine Stars Football Club there in Akure, and also part of the NFF. Is a part of the NFF medical committee. He's been involved in a lot of competitions in Africa, in Nigeria, in a lot of other places. His experience, and at least probably will learn one or two things from his wealth of experience. Jimmy has just joined us. Yemi, you saw his contribution.
I think I'm very insightful, giving leveraging on his experience, and he said something quite important: the medical passport, crowd doctor.
Yeah.
So apart from the team doctor, so apparently there should be crowd doctors.
Yes.
Exactly in the stadium, the facilities, the ambulance that should be there. People who are trained to administer CPR. The world of football will have been thrown into mourning if those facilities and those experts trained personnel, if they were not on ground. They saved us
a life.
Exactly.
Yes.
A life at that matter, and we are happy for that. But like he said, bringing that home, because when this kind of incidents happen, what you want to learn is, okay, back home in Nigeria, if this had happened here,
exactly what would have
happened? We had a couple of cases, like you said, the highly celebrated one. To the
charity,
Endurance Idaho,
Sineme, what was his name?
Chineme
Martins.
Yeah.
So now, what our administrators, what are they doing to at least have the basic minimum requirements
in terms of
trained personnel, in terms of trained personnel and equipment that can help us perform CPR?
You said we have only 25 qualified sports professionals. Is
it rocket science to train people? Is it rocket science to train doctors?
Ken, to bring it further home, I think that the most important thing will be having the medical equipment, having the right medical personnel on ground, and also defibrillators. We've seen in different climes, same climes, where defibrillators are being used for this purpose. And the question is, in domesticating all of this, our nuances, I think it will be proper for clubs, all professional clubs. We know they are not being run as professionally as they should be run, but there is this obligation to ensure that players, the safety of players are guaranteed. So if clubs can have this medical equipment, if clubs can have defibrillators, then I think it will go a long way in ensuring as much as possible when we have issues like this, we are able to resolve issues faster.
And even Ken, in addition to that, I think the administering CPR is a life skills that everybody
has to learn. In fact, we should learn it.
Everybody should learn.
It can happen at any time.
It's not rocket science. It can happen at any time. See what Simon did yesterday.
Yes.
Crying his airways, not making sure his tongue didn't block his
swallowing the tongue.
Yes. We saw how that was able to keep the man alive, and here we are again saying it's in stable condition. So I think it's a life-saving skills that everybody
needs to learn. No matter that is the basic aspects of it. They should teach us to, because if I yesterday you could see his his girlfriend there who was also the team, his teammates. Some of them, couldn't look.
Some of them
were praying. I mean, we can see those. We can see some of those slides of what really transpired, how it transpired.
And the way the teammate formed the guard, not allowing cameras to pry, protecting his privacy, a guard of privacy.
Yeah.
I think it was the highest display of unity I've seen in recent times.
In recent times, I agree.
Footballers. It made sense. And,
and away from what had happened last year with the COVID drama and all that, you begin to look at it and say, what if anything had gone wrong? It looks like these players are mentally exhausted. They are bodily exhausted.
No, but this has been happening.
Hold up. When it comes to the number of matches that they have played, in terms of before COVID, after COVID, I think these players are exhausted, and nobody is caring about the schedule. You have the likes of Begovic talking about it and saying, yes, at this point in time, the welfare of the players
should be taken into consideration.
Yes, it's very important.
Remember that was part of the question.
They are not having adequate time to rest.
Part of the question. That part of the question we put forward, to Dr. Kiminu. I mean, a medically fit person, you check all the tests, you check everything.
There's someone that has never failed medical.
That's what I'm saying.
So there are no guarantees.
To me, it would have become an issue here. I know it's considered that it probably will have about 2 or 3 happening, on this part.
It's not the start of the Euros.
You're looking at this as an isolated event.
Of course, just check it. It has not happened since COVID. This is the first one of this.
But what we are saying is, we are talking about the heavy schedule, the heavy scheduling of matches.
I understand that. I understand that, but like we are saying, you can be fit and still suffer this. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely.
This is what we are talking about.
These are the privacy.
These are the players covering. This is when they are, that is the captain giving him that. That is the first to clear the airwaves. These are the players who cannot. They couldn't stand it.
Also, all players must go the way of
Anthony at the same time.
The referee.
That is the captain. Just number 4. He's watching what is happening. Look at his teammates could not watch what was happening. He was looking it. He was in charge. He was in control.
Lukaku scoring and also
his display of leadership.
Lukaku in this team. And you can also
display of leadership.
You look at yes, exactly. You're talking about
absolutely awesome and fantastic. You saw the way the captain actually even went over to the wife, consoling him, assuring her that yes.
And the players decided, both teams decided that we are going to continue.
And
that's the part.
When they were told that he's okay, that he is recovering, they said, let us go back. But this is the first action. This is the action that actually contributed mostly in saving his life. Exactly. The response of the captain the moment this thing happened. So that is it. We keep on monitoring it, the monitoring developments as they unfold. And our other sports programs here, we'll be on top of it and give it this. We pray he survives. He already survived. We pray like what I was trying to say that. What you said that probably that he should be able to continue his career.
Playing, yeah.
We saw Nwankwo went through heart surgery, and then he now played. For so in fact, he played more years after the surgery than before the surgery. So let's see if himself, they will look at that, check his condition, do the evaluation, and say certify him fit to continue, because that guy is a gel. He's right there. He's a gem. That you can always call upon when he's on the pitch. Of course, you talk about Lukaku dedicating his goal.
Yeah, and you said he's not in this team.
Not in the team.
But you might be talking about the team, but at least you can't talk about Eriksen, what has happened, without talking about Lukaku dedicating that goal
to him.
I agree with you. Because even the show is dedicated to
the sporting world. Stood up for him yesterday. You saw the likes of Didier Drogba, Jermaine Jenners,
everybody.
Fabregas, who was actually even a pundit on set yesterday, was close to tears, and we thank God. Let's use it.
That was apart from the match. There are other matches that also took place. Let me just take the Euro matches before we can go back to tennis. Before we go to tennis,
Lukaku scored his 62nd.
That was his 61st goal.
Exactly.
That he dedicated
he scored another.
Their
teammates in Inter Milan won the Scudetto together.
Jimmy, this is a Belgian all-time top scorer.
Yes.
Is Lukaku underrated?
It's hard to say.
Manchester United fan said he doesn't have a first touch. He doesn't have a good first touch. Man, this guy top scorer. He has been scoring everywhere.
You wonder the fact that Lukaku had done the needful in Belgium, done it in England,
in the leagues.
He does it in almost all the leagues
he has played.
He's been very, very.
He will be there in the top 3 to
And at the end of the day, you talk about his first touch. At the end of the day, let's look at it critically. his job is to score goals.
Yes.
He does it for club and country. We've seen a lot of players.
So
they do it for their clubs. They are unable to do it for the country. But this is a guy. He's a top scorer in his country. He's done it for clubs. And at the end of the day, the gap.
He's not 28. He will play till about 33, 34, 35.
There's no
way this guy not
There's no Origi here.
There's no way this guy. There's Wilmer, you know, we look at Wilmer, a lot of names that we were hearing
exactly before in times past. Yes.
See, for me, the answer to the question is that Lukaku is highly underrated.
Yeah.
Highly underrated. And the way he was shoved out of
Manchester United. They were blaming him as if
whatever. It's your guy, Ole. Anyway, I'm not going to.
Somebody don't get too
somebody's not throwing stones. Somebody's throwing bricks. Somebody's throwing bricks. It's allowed, but those are the results of the matches that were played.
Italy decimated Turkey. That was 3-0 in favor of Italy. Immobile scoring 2. Insigne also scoring. Wales and Switzerland played out a 1-1 draw. Denmark.
That is the match we're talking about.
Denmark though lost, but at least they won.
They won for Eriksen. They won the live. They lost the match, but they won the live.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is
and Belgium doing the needful also on Russia. I think that was a total washout. 3-0.
Lukaku scoring those 2 goals. So these are the fixtures.
Scotland will take on Czech Republic. Austria will also take on
North Macedonia.
Croatia, England. And Netherlands, the last game for
top
today.
Top fixture here, England and Croatia.
Of course, that was 2018 semi-final meeting. So they've always been meeting. They met in the Euro Nations League.
And there's a lot of talk about football going home. I don't know whether it's going home or it's coming home because we're almost England ourselves.
Everything is England. England are playing.
Apart from football, this is the launch of the Ukrainian jersey.
That
has a map showing Crimea, and the Russians are really living. Let's hope the 2 teams don't get to meet.
Is the grass? Is the grass that will suffer? The grass will suffer. The leather and the grass that will suffer, and because the referee is there to make sure that they play according to the rules.
The Russians are the rules of engagement.
Of course.
Okay, and also Jimmy, today we see the drama with Copa America. I awarded to Colombia and Argentina. Colombia, they say they have civil strife, they cannot host, and then when supposed to Argentina, I said, look, the rate of COVID-19 is so high, and so went to Brazil. The Brazilians took the Brazilian FA and to court, and took the Supreme Court to decide that before the players have said, okay, we are going to play. The team have decided to play. All these things. I mean, are we pushing? Are we not taking enough precaution when it comes to this? Because even Brazil also still have a high infection rate of COVID-19.
Absolutely, and for me, I think the responsible thing to have done, with all due respect to the organizers of the Copa America, the responsible thing to have done, given the rate of infection in those countries, Argentina, even Brazil, they're not out of the woods.
Yes.
Yeah. Given the rate of infection, is to have postponed the Copa America. If the Olympics can be postponed, if the Olympics,
they even postponed it from last year,
and they still it's not certain.
Yes.
So such event can become super spreaders, and you see, health and safety is the most important thing. When we are safe, there are still a lot of years ahead for a lot of Copa America, a lot of events that can happen. But one life lost, you cannot be quantified.
Okay, let's go on the cherry note. At the last bender, the last time he went up, the catch weight, the thing was too much for him. But he came back to his natural habitat, his natural domain, and then he decimated Vettori for the second time. The first match, it was a split decision in 2018. That was his second match at least in the UFC match, and the guy said, "I won the match." He said, "But this time, you go to sleep knowing that."
Exactly, and he even said, "Magbele during the press." It was something that we can't mention on here. I think Israel Adesanya is in his natural habitat, fighting middleweight. That's 185 pounds, and I like the way he went about the business. Maybe not the best of thrilling bouts, but he did the needful. made sure that Vettori suffered every day. He was very good in terms of his
over
takedown.
50, over 50 something
in
kicks
terms
to
of
the
his
head.
in terms of his takedown.
It's about understanding your opponent and playing to your own.
Let me use Jimmy's word. He decimated him.
It discombobulated.
And in terms of
33 as at the fourth round, 33 kicks to the leg.
5 in the three.
He won one round
for the 3
judges.
And I think the most
and the way he
important
landed
thing
those kicks
away
on
from
his
this,
head,
unsettled them.
I think the most important thing we take away from this is his takedown defenses. He's really improved. You know, he's not a grappler. He's a striker. And the way he's using his knees a lot more better. He's able to ensure that his defense is a lot more better.
Yeah.
So when he fights with anybody that is also a fantastic striker, we will need all these things, because when they attempt takedowns on him, he would need to always, you know, be on the very positive side of the defense.
A good one for Easy, but I think he should just remain
in his middleweight.
In his middleweight.
Even Jan is saying, let's see. Yeah. They are not seeing anything. Because I think it's better for Israel to remain in this division.
Yes.
Let him stay as the king of the division is always better.
If he naturally adds weight, what will happen?
He naturally adds weight.
Does it
never add weight?
Ken, it's better he keeps the weight. He's a master here.
So
let him stay
we look at some Nigerian presidents. Some have some around. Some
Oh, yeah. Serious, yeah.
No, we add weight naturally. And we are still going to tennis, and we are seeing if we can connect, if we can get Jide on the line to join us to talk tennis. When we are ready, he's our expert in-house, so we shall talk about that. Yemi, we're trying to break our jaw, trying to pronounce, you know, Krejcikova and Pavlyuchenkova.
31st and 33 seed, making it to the final. I think for me, awesome. And they did so well. Nobody saw this coming. They were not even given the chance that they would make it into the semis, not to talk of even getting into the finals. But they've gone there, and the winner has been Barbora Krejcikova.
Immediately, Osaka withdrew from the tournament, and Alep, you know, had withdrawn and all that. We always knew that they most likely would be a new winner. Serena is not known to be a top play dog, and she had already left the competition quite early. But getting into this, you know, the second week, you would have thought maybe the likes of Maria Sakkari, the likes of Iga Swiatek, any of those.
It's not like a big name.
Swiatek won.
Yeah, but the thing is that
how many of them have been consistent?
Even in the last 6.
The French Open in the first 5 editions,
exactly.
3 unseeded players have won it. So even when all those big names were, you know, have been there.
So that's testament to the fact that
times in 2000 that has happened.
That has happened. But the truth is, like she said in her speech, she dedicated it to, you know, Yana Novotná,
who died at the age of 47.
49 in 2017.
Yeah. So that was, you know, and then you talk about the legend herself. That was another dominating figure in her era, Martina Navratilova.
In 82 and 84, she won the French Open, but she competed as an American.
No, when we are saying she was trying to be American and Czech.
She was trying to be.
No,
I don't understand.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah,
then it was not even Czechoslovakia. So they now ask her that, look, you come back. It's like you are devoting too much of your time to tennis. You are devoting your time to be an American. That was from the age of 15 to 18. So she now went and then took on the American citizenship, and she was now stripped of the Czechoslovakian citizenship. You understand? So she competed as an American. But later, a few years back now, she has gone back to get back. No, she has going to reacquire her Czech citizenship. But she said it has nothing to do with politics. But what I tell you is that here is a lady that won 18 big ones. You understand? Right now she's a dual citizen. She has a dual citizenship of American citizenship and also a Czech citizenship. And at a point, there is this very beautiful Argentine, you know, Gabriela Sabatini. And Sabatini said, look, Well, I'm not sure if we are competing against a man or a woman. Well,
because there have been talks about asexuality.
No. He said, go to parties, enjoy yourself. You because her dominance, before you step on the court, you know she was going to win. You understand? Okay, we'll come and look at the friendlies. Before we also want to open the lines, you guys to join us. Today it is Djokovic taking up Tsitsipas. Like Jimmy said, there would have been 2 Greeks in the final. You know, Maria Sakkari, was the second one. But she lost in the semi-final. And against, I mean, a match was expected to win. So this is also good for Greece in this competition. They have the finalists.
They're synonymous with athletics and sports.
And then so let us see if the gods will descend.
Well, Ken, I think the French Open final. Was
which one?
The French Open final is already played. That match between Djokovic and Nadal,
you can say that again,
go down as one of the
defining moments for tennis,
especially as it concerns French Open. You saw the first set where Nadal took 5.
He went 5-0 before Djokovic got 3. And then he now completed it.
From there, Djokovic just went on and on.
I think the most important set was the third set, where they had this 93 minutes. I mean, it was crazy. He had everything you wanted to talk about.
That third set. Nadal went two games up before Novak level.
Novak resilience is something else.
The thing is, like we said, two players have beaten Nadal at the French Open. No, this is the second time Novak Robin
Sunderland in 2009.
Who made it possible for?
Don't go there. Just continue. Just continue. We know where you are going to. Just continue. Continue. Don't talk about the prize. Just go on. We understand.
Okay, we are going on a break. They have put this as you don't talk about this. We are going on a break. When we come back, the lines are still open. You join the discussion. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back. We are moving into the last segment of the show, and Okpe, as usual, joins us. Okpe.
Ken, it's nice having me. Still in the spirit of the Democracy Day. It's instructive to know that the emblem of that democracy, Bashorun MK Abiola, was also the pillars for sport in Africa.
Exactly.
And having been awarded that important title was not because he was holding any sport office in any sports association. So if someone from outside would do so much and hand that tag at the pillar of sport in Africa, how much more people who are entrusted with sport development, I think we should all do our bit.
You see, I always like your opening when you come on set because you look at it holistically and said you don't have to be elected into sport before you bring in that change, because your impact is felt. Right now, the elections have started again and the controversies have started again. All right, let's
Mike.
Go to we're in Lagos here, so we're not going anywhere. Mike is calling us here. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, Ken.
Yeah. Let's hear you. Go on.
I'm taking you back, Ken. I want to know how this league will end. This our league. Will they be able to play the matches before the end? Are we going to see another miracle?
We are not sure. We are not sure yet because right now they already. How do I say it? The time to submit the name to CAF, for the for their FA Cup again. I'm not even the league. It's already short. So in fact, some states they are nominating teams. I know Akwa Ibom have nominated I don't know if it will end. I can't look at the crystal ball to tell you that. We just go on, Mike. But the question you're asking is something I cannot answer.
I beg, something should be done. This is our league.
They are listening to you. Thank you, Mike.
I read a piece from Chief Segun Odegbami yesterday, and I was totally terrified at the idea that state FAs are having to submit names at this point in time. And we recollect that the likes of River State, from time immemorial, they used to have this duopoly of Rivers and Sharks. You know, Sharks and Dolphins always go head to head. At this point in time, why are we just nominating teams to represent us after teams had already paid affiliation fees? They're supposed to enter into competition. I should mind myself.
I should mind understand myself. What there are certain things. There are certain things you should not see because they want to market this league. Wow. When you start saying this sort of thing,
no,
the league will not
actually it's more same of the same because if you are saying we're having a British league because it's not run by the federation,
we have a
LMC. So now we're also having the one that is actually the product of the federation.
The product of the federation, the FA Cup.
And the question is, can't we for at least this once try to excuse ourselves from continental competition to right the wrongs? Use the opportunity to ensure you get a proper champion in place, a proper FA champion, a proper league champion. Then use that to restructure your football. We keep talking about club licensing regulation.
Jimmy, let's move on. I'm sorry. Nigeria plays some friendly matches, but before then, let us see the league fixtures for this week. I won't talk politics today. I will restrain my guys to won't talk. No matter the temptation,
wow.
We won't talk politics today.
Wow.
We won't.
Wow.
Yes.
So the fixtures for today: Nasarawa United will be playing at home against Plateau United. Enyimba will be away at Katsina United. Adamawa United will be playing host to Rivers United. Kano Pillars, they lost our last game after a very fantastic.
Kano Pillars, Akwa United.
They will be playing against Akwa United.
And Heartland takes on Jigawa.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. There are still because they are all playing almost all the matches today. Wiki
yeah, we don't have any United team. Wiki Tourist against FC Fayimba. Abia Warriors takes on Lubi Stars. Sunshine, after their first win in 18, goes to Enugu to face the Enugu
Rangers International.
Warri Wolves takes on Dakada FC.
Yeah, right. So those are the fixtures, and that is the standing for now.
They are tops.
So Kano Pillars,
second.
Another United Nasarawa, followed by another United Rivers, another United Kwara United. So first to fifth, we have 4 United.
And then the last 4.
Another United, Adamawa United. That the
Sunshine Stars.
So Sunshine.
All right, DK, let's go straight. Dele. All right. Dele, how are you?
Ken, how are you?
I'm fine, Dele. I like your voice.
Okay, good to see that my friend just seated beside you there. You call him Odo doing this in Zaria. So yeah, how are you?
What do you call him when you're in Zaria?
You call him it was the YouTube guys in our department there.
So what's the name you call him? We want to know that name.
We call him Odo. That's the one name.
I love that. Odo, somebody's Odo.
Youth.
Okay, you were youthful, but you are still looking youthful now.
I'm still looking very youthful.
Very,
my friend. How are you, Yemi?
Thanks, Adili.
Okay, I just want to talk about Kwara United. I'm very happy to actually see that my team on there, and this is the top 5.
Yeah.
I will have loved the situation where we end up playing in the Champions League. I mean, CAF Champions League. That would be nice.
Okay.
To bring such to Ilorin, it would be nice. And secondly, I also want to say something about the MPFL. I don't know why I call it professional. For me, there's really nothing so professional about it. If you still look around, I don't know what the department or the marketing department of the NPFL are doing. For me, I think there are so many things we could do. You know, especially getting some of these big nationals or multinationals to come in and sponsor this league. Let's have better pitch panel so that it looks much more better when you are shooting. There's also nothing wrong in having set sponsorship, you know, for some of these things. Because this thing is big business. I mean, showing it on MPFL where you have to buy that and all that stuff. The quality of the showing is good, but I also think there is nothing wrong if they have to partner with some of the local channels, maybe CSTV or maybe channels or some other local store where we can also watch what they do on this. That's just my take for it. MPFL should be competing with some of the best leagues in Africa. We have talent. Look at Anayo, look at some other persons that are in this camp. But the marketing department of NSF, I think it needs a lot to do. Somebody should be spanned to that department. Marketing for me is what is lacking in the football federation. That's just my position.
Dele,
well done, guys.
Dele, thank you, calling Nobet. They said in those, if you do a little of marketing, when they P, you understand? You don't talk of those things. They talk about the product. the price, promotion, all those P's. The most important P is the product. If the product is not good, there is nothing you can sell the first one, but will the buyer come back again? I mean, that is the functionality.
I think Mourinho said Chiellini can lecture defending in Harvard. Dele can lecture marketing in Harvard.
You say?
Dele can actually lecture marketing in Harvard.
I agree with I totally agree, but I'm only saying you say marketing, but I'm only saying you market a good product. You are there was this advert, is it Yoshina
good product.
Go taking good product. Everything starts with the product. A good marketer can sell a product for the first time, but then it is the testimony that will make people to come and production.
So how can you get a good product?
But it has to be visible.
It has to be.
If someone's at Versailles maybe 5 years back, I'll sit down and be watching Ethiopian League, I'll say no.
Or Zambian League.
But it's something I do.
Tanzanian League.
Okay. What do you want to market in the MPFL? The Abridged League.
But Ken, let's understand something. Like
I said, I won't discuss politics.
No, we are not going the political route.
Okay, so
like Okoya said, the product needs to be visible. But before you can have the product, you probably need to break down the house.
Visible. They have their own TV station.
No.
TV app.
No. See, if anybody says okay, let's go down to where are we going to?
Paul in Nabia.
Hello, Paul. Paul, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I want to say something concerning our FA Cup. They say that we should bring one team that will represent our state. They should have started saying this FA Cup since last year. What you are into now is 2020-2021 season. I think you know. Yes, or they started playing it earlier this season. So I don't know what they're doing in this our country at all. But I want to say something about Europe. England and Spain. I want them to win Europe. Thank you.
Both of them can't win it. Now only one will win it.
One of them. One of them.
Okay. All right. Okay, Paul.
Thank you very much, dear.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
I think what Paul just said is that we wasted 2 seasons. Last year, this year.
Let us take the results of the friendlies. Nigeria played Cameroon 2 matches in the mill, and also the first match they beat us. Okay, somebody's asked for the data. Okay, that's the idea. 0-1, we lost the first 0-1 to Cameroon. And then the second one we played 0-0 with Cameroon.
So actually
the same set of players.
The same set of players. So we also move on.
Some people move this.
Let's also move on.
They will come and market. Okay, those are the other results. They will come and the other results.
Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire played out the 0-0 draw. Morocco defeated Burkina Faso 1-0. Then Algeria defeated at home Tunisia.
To Algeria, I tell you this, with this score line, yes. Okay, these are females. We'll come back to that. These are a female team.
Yes.
They lost to Jamaica. They'll play Portugal today. And then they'll play USA on the 16th. Jamaica is supposed to be the weakest team, and then of course we lost to Jamaica.
The takeaway from that game is that Tony Payne was very, very lively.
Okay.
Maybe we had issues with injuries, visa delays, and all that, but the takeaway is that Tony Payne, as a player.
Anyway, I was talking about the match between Tunisia and Algeria. Algeria went to Tunisia and beat Tunisia 2-0. That match meant Algeria has broken the African record of 27 matches unbeaten.
Which could ever
you understand?
For some time.
But your own team, what is the record?
They are the African champion.
We are not after it.
Your last match was losing to Cameroon.
The Algerians are African champions.
How do you market such product?
No, Ken. Honestly, the league is a brand. The league is a brand.
And that's the most important brand.
The FA,
your league is the most
important
product.
If you put out
the most important product of the team. And then the league has been abridged and not completed. There was no winner declared. We submitted name the other time when we submitted
most likely.
The league didn't end the next one. This one at the FA Cup, they said because you are giving them 3 days to play
Not like Jong.
And maybe they'll play 10 matches in a day. So
just go to penalty shootout.
Okay.
That's an
go to penalty shootout.
At its best.
They should just collect money from them. They play the form and then they play penalties. Win out penalties to go and represent Nigeria.
That has to be the saddest thing. That has to be the saddest thing because
I don't know. Discord is the little sad taste in my mouth.
If the federation in their own competition cannot go the whole org, that has to be the saddest thing that has ever happened to football this year.
We have Obi. Hello, Obi. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I want to comment on the Nigerian League.
Yeah. Go on.
Now, I heard you talking about, the product.
Yeah.
Now, and the issue of the corporate body getting involved. Now, what I think we need to do is to take drastic measures. Because what we have, over time, we've been trying to patch what is not good. I think we need to take drastic measures. There is no corporate entity what it saw that will buy into the league the way it is. We need to, take the bull by the horns. If it means stopping the league, reorganize it,
simple.
Get the government out of it, get people that know football and know business. If we have to rework the rules of the game, following current, because how can you go for matches be a bit of referee? And nothing happens to the teams.
Oh,
we
don't want to share that. Remo Staff as Insurance. Thank you, Daniel.
We don't want to see players touching referees.
We want to round up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. We've gotten that. We don't want to cut you up, but we just have to round up. Thanks, Obi. Thanks for calling. Yemi, want to round up?
Yeah. If you play a league for 3 years and you are not seeing sponsors, it's not because the sponsors don't want to come. They have their mid-term plans. They have their long-term plans. So if they are still in the midst of their mid-term plan, that means when they are coming over to the 6th year, they will come and sponsor the league. So don't say because after 3 years, no sponsor, nobody is coming. No. The sponsors, if you don't have plans, they do have plans.
Yeah, this league used to have sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah, so if they had not had sponsors, this league is not a new league. This league is over 50 years old. So what are we saying here? What are we saying?
It's less than 50.
Jimmy,
we are less
thankfully,
than 50.
the likes of
the league is less than 50.
Ruth Uzoro, she's doing us proud in the NCAA, won the triple jump, the gold in triple jump.
All right.
And also, Odrayo Adekunle also won gold in Poland.
Yeah.
And these are things that we should be happy about.
Beyond all the adversity. Blessing was in the finals.
And Blessing also got in the final. Yeah.
Okay, that is where we are trying to call it a day. We do hope that someday we shall bring you just sharing news. It's on a Sunday, and we try as much as possible that when we leave here, we want you also to be happy in your homes. We pray that the league will find its feet. We pray that they find a direction, and we pray that whatever target or destination they want to get to, they will get there with due diligence. I'm Ken Ochonogo. Have a blessed Sunday.